Canada set to recognize Palestine in September. Major diplomatic shift ahead. In a move that could reshape the geopolitical landscape, Canada has indicated that it intends to officially recognize the State of Palestine as early as September. This potential shift in foreign policy is sending shockwaves through international circles as Canada, a longtime Western ally of Israel, steps forward to take a more assertive position on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The announcement came during a press briefing by senior Canadian officials who stated that the government is actively considering recognition of Palestinian statehood, joining a growing list of countries advocating for a two-state solution. According to inside sources, this development has been in the works for several months, with Canadian diplomats quietly consulting with European partners and Middle Eastern nations to gauge support. If finalized, this move would mark the first time Canada has formally recognized Palestine as a sovereign state, aligning it with over 140 countries worldwide that have already done so. It also puts Canada at the center of a global diplomatic shift, especially as tensions rise in the Middle East and calls for peace and justice grow louder. The timing is critical. Recent Israeli military actions in Gaza, combined with widespread reports of civilian casualties and humanitarian crises, have intensified international pressure on Western governments to take a more balanced approach. Canada's government, under mounting public and international pressure, appears to be responding with what many are calling a historic foreign policy decision. Reactions are already pouring in. Palestinian leadership has welcomed the announcement, calling it a courageous and principled stand and urging other nations to follow suit. In contrast, Israeli officials have expressed disappointment, warning that such recognition could undermine peace negotiations and embolden extremist elements. The United States, Canada's closest ally, has remained cautious. While Washington has not opposed Canadian sovereignty in making such decisions, U.S. officials are reportedly concerned about the broader implications this recognition might have on ongoing negotiations in the region. At home, the move is sparking political debate. Some Canadian lawmakers have praised the government's decision, calling it a long overdue step toward justice and human rights. Others have criticized it as premature and politically risky, fearing it may strain Canada's relationship with Israel and impact trade or security cooperation. Beyond politics, this decision has significant symbolic weight. By recognizing Palestine, Canada would be taking a stand for the rights of millions of Palestinians, many of whom have lived under occupation for decades. It would also signal support for international law and United Nations resolutions, which have long called for a sovereign Palestinian state based on pre-1967 borders. Analyses note that Canada's recognition could also influence other hesitant countries, especially within the European Union, to follow suit. It could potentially reignite global efforts for a peaceful resolution and force renewed dialogue between Israeli and Palestinian leaders, despite the long-standing deadlock. As we await further official confirmation in the coming weeks, one thing is clear: September may mark a major diplomatic turning point, not only for Canada, but for the broader international community seeking a just and lasting peace.
Yes, thanks for watching. Stay updated with Global Scope 360. Thank you so much. Subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon.